So today I have for you one tip for every single faction in the game, and I'm also going to give you loadouts that I like to use with each of the factions. Now these are not going to be actual in-depth loadouts, but just like giving you an idea of what gun that in my opinion goes well with each faction. So let's begin. Starting off, we have the cleaners. Now the cleaners, as you might know, have two abilities. They have the drone and they have the firebomb, and their passive is the incendiary round. Now the cleaner's passive keeps doing damage to the players you've shot at even after you've stopped shooting at them. And that's one thing that you can pair pretty well with the marksman rifle. Now if you don't know, the marksman rifle, at least the SVD in this game, does 47 damage to the body. And 2 shots to the body cannot kill someone unless you're using the cleaner class, because then the burn damage does the extra damage that is needed to kill the person that you're shooting at. And next really good tip I have for this class is that if you use the firebomb, you can basically use that as a suicide bomb ability. And what I mean by that is that you can just run at someone and use this ability and it will molotov at your feet and you can kill them. But the best time to use this ability is when an enemy has an ultra popped. For example, the phantom's bubble. If you see a phantom's bubble, you can just run at the guy, because the guy doesn't have any range, of course, and you can just queue at your feet and you can basically just kill the guy with the molotov. Next, we have the phantoms. Now, the phantoms pair very well with long range guns. Okay, so my go-to weapon loadout for the phantoms is an AR. That could be the AK-47, that can be the ACR. But you can also use a sniper on the phantoms. Now, one really insane tip that I have for the phantoms is that it hard counters the echelon's ult ability. Okay, so when the echelon pops their ult, they have wall hacks and they can one tap you with a pistol. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do with phantoms is, as soon as you hear the enemy pop their ult, you can see the tick, you can hear the tick 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 noise that the enemy ult makes. So what you can do is you can basically bait the echelon to basically wide swing you. So basically you can just hold a corner, sit somewhere still, wait for the guy to push you, because since he has wall hacks in his ult, he will push you. And right as you hear the tick 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 noise getting really loud, you can just queue at your feet. You can use the mag barrier at your feet, and the echelon will just wide swing you. Like, trust me, they always wide swing when they have their ult. They think they're invincible, and when they do wide swing you, they're just standing there shooting at your shield while you can just insta-kill them for free. And you can basically counter what is, in my opinion, the most powerful ult in the game. Next, moving on to the Libertad. Now, the Libertad is considered a very selfish character by many people. However, these people probably don't know that the Biovita boost does not only heal you. Instead, it heals in a radius around you. And that radius can include your teammates as well. So if you're stuck in a corner, then you can pop your Q Biovita boost. You don't need to have the Remedio to be a team player. You can also help your team by using the Biovita boost. And this is really helpful that if you're stuck in a corner and you're full HP, but you see all 3 of your teammates are really low HP, then you can pop this Q and it will heal them all. And a good tip for that is, if you look at your teammate and they have a plus icon on top of their head, then that means that they're low HP. Another thing that you can do to basically keep track of all your teammates' HP is go into settings, scroll down into gameplay and UI, and turn on this team composition overlay. And I'm pretty sure that this shows up your entire team on the left side and the enemy team on your right side, and then you can basically see the HP of your teammates, I'm pretty sure. Okay, and I like to pair up the Libertads with an SMG, and the reason for that is that if someone is shooting with mid-range and they put me to 1 HP, then I can just go around a corner, pop my Q, my Biovita boost, and then instantly reshell, and I will always win because I have an SMG and they have an AR. So yeah, that's what I like to pair up the Libertad with. Also, another thing, when you get your ult, remember to always use your ult on the point. Okay, if you're playing domination, if you're playing hardpoint, remember to use your ult on the points, and remember to just coordinate it with your team. Make sure that your team knows that you're popping your ult. Okay, because it's one of the most powerful ults in the game, and you really want to use it to capture that objective. Okay, next you have the Echelon, which I think is my favorite class in the game. And this I like to also pair up with SMGs, and the main reason is because you can either use the digital ghillie suit and just rat on someone, and I'll go over that in a second. But basically you can use the intel suit and you have wall hacks and you know which corner to peek and which corner not to peek. And the tip I have for the digital ghillie suit is that it's very visible, like it's not fully invisible, okay? Many people don't actually realize this, but it's very easy to see someone when they have when they're popped their Q, when they pop their digital ghillie suit Q, okay? So one tip I have for that is the slower you move, or even if you stand still, the slower you move, the less visible you are, okay? So what you can do is if you get put to 1 HP, you can go around a corner, pop your Q and just go AFK in a corner. And 99% of the time, the enemy would just run past you and not even notice that you're there, because you're almost invisible when you're standing still. That's like the only tip I have, unfortunately. And lastly, we have the death sec. Now, the death sec is considered by pretty much most of the community as the most annoying character. So the number one tip I have to make this faction even more annoying for everyone is to pick up EMP grenades. Now, EMP grenades are really useful because of the DeadSec passive. Now, if you don't know, the DeadSec passive is basically after a device is deployed, the fabricator prints a new one. What that means is that when you throw a grenade, there's a bar that starts going up, and it just basically gives your grenade back after a little bit of time. And the fastest grenade that comes back is the EMP grenade, and it comes back really, really fast. So what you can do is you can pick up the EMP grenade and you can just keep spamming that over and over and over and over and over again. And it comes back super, super quick. Okay, and EMP grenades are super powerful, especially because they counter phantoms. So if you don't know, by the way, if you throw an EMP grenade at a phantom's shield, the shield goes away. And same goes for a lot of the other abilities in the game. But that's the most oppressive ability because the shield usually wins you points. So you can just throw an EMP grenade at a shield and it basically just gets rid of the shield. And it also goes for the other ability that phantoms have, the other shield that they have. I don't remember the name. It's called the Blitz Shield, but if you EMP someone with the Blitz Shield, it also goes away, like the Blitz Shield goes away, and you can just kill them for free. So yeah, if you pick up the EMP grenade, then you're basically spamming EMP grenades over and over again, and it's really oppressive, okay? And finally, this might be obvious, but I'll like to point this out anyways, but always remember to use your Ultra when the enemies have their ultras down. So let's say the enemy has popped their Libertad, their healing ult, on the hard point, and it's an important hard point, for example, or a domination or B point on domination, okay? You want to use your ultra when they have their ultras down, okay? It's that way you will get the most use out of it, because there's no point using your ultra when the enemy doesn't have a single ability down, because the ultra, what it does is prevents enemies from using their ability and ultra in an area effect. And if an ultra is already down, if I'm not mistaken, it cancels it out, okay? So you're going to want to use that to its maximum potential. And another quick tip I have is that the spider bot targets the nearest foe, as it says here, although in my experience, sometimes it does not do that, but let's just go with what they say. But what you can do is you can put down your spider bot and you can just follow it around. And if you get the kill before the spider bot actually jumps on the player, then you can keep following it around and just use it as a pocket UAV, okay? It's not that useful in a real game, but it's something to keep in mind. And when it comes to the guns with the DeadSec, I don't usually have a preferred loadout that I like to go with the DeadSec. I think that they're really flexible and you can just pretty much use whatever you want with them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed, if you find it helpful, don't forget to like, and if you like XDefiant content, subscribe to the channel. And I stream almost every day on Twitch, so if you want to catch me live, that's where you can find me. Anyways, thank you for watching again.